Well, the direction of this show changed dramatically about 31 minutes ago. Come on in, stay a while. Tom Brady has made it official. He is no longer going to play football. Now, Marvin brought this up about a half hour ago, and he goes, oh, I got an alert. Tom Brady's retiring. I go, no, this is the anniversary of him announcing his retirement last year. He goes, no, he's got a video. He's retiring. I go, Marvin, he announced his retirement February 1st last year. Marvin goes, all right, well, here's the video. So you can listen and watch for yourself if you're watching on Peacock. Tom is at the beach. I don't know if he's in Tampa or Miami, but he's got feet in the sand. And this is not something that's been produced. This basically is, I made a decision. I'm going to the beach, and I'm going to announce my retirement. Here's Tom Brady.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. I think you only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So really thank you guys so much, to every single one of you, for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
So Tom released that on his Twitter page, and you could hear the emotion, you could see the emotion, and this time it's for good. I did like the humor that he threw in there. Hey, I had the drawn out, big one, big produced, Hollywood blockbuster announcement, and I used that up last year. Basically, this is just nuts and bolts. This is what's happening. And, you start to think about this. And I think we were all under the impression he was going to play again. But I remember going into that game against the Cowboys. And I said, nobody is presenting this like this could be Tom's last game in the NFL. I didn't think it was, but nobody was suggesting that this could be his last game. I think we were under the impression this could be his last game as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Nobody looked at it in a bigger picture to say, or maybe smaller picture and say, could Tom retire if he doesn't play well or they get eliminated? And just yesterday, we're, in the hypothetical, what about him to the Niners? Maybe to the Raiders, maybe staying in Tampa. You had reports that his friends were inferring that he was leaning towards playing again. And then this happens. And, the reverberations here are going to be felt in a couple of different fan bases. It's not just Tampa, the Raiders, also the 49ers as well. But there was speculation. Tom was looking at coming back to play for Tampa Bay next year. I had mentioned a source who was correct in this, saying, that relationship with Josh McDaniels, that's not necessarily something that was going to happen with Tom going to the Raiders. If it was going to happen, it'd be because Mark Davis, the owner, loves Tom, but it's not necessarily the relationship of Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels. That my source said it was more likely that you would have, another quarterback coming in there, Jimmy Garoppolo, whether that happens or not. Tom staying in Tampa. Now what's Tampa do after this? What do the Raiders do after this? The Niners, the door was open. The possibility, Chris Collinsworth talked about that yesterday. Hey, if Brock Purdy's out 6 to 8 months, you want to turn it over to Trey Lance, or you want to bring in Tom Brady for a one and done? Give him a chance, his boyhood team, win another Super Bowl. These are all the things discussed yesterday. And then now does Tom move on to be a color analyst on Fox? He's played football, a couple of decades now in the NFL. He's had 3 different Hall of Fame careers within one career. If you look at the number of Super Bowls when he's won them in his 20s, 30s, and 40s. I mean, Tom was there before social media. That's how long it's been. I was there for the first Super Bowl, when he won his first Super Bowl. And you start to think about this day. and I go, February 1st. What else happened on February 1st? Well, I was there for Malcolm Butler's interception against the Seahawks. That was 2015 on this day. 2004, I was there when Adam Vinatieri, with 4 seconds left, the Patriots beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl. And, of course, the Janet Jackson halftime show. That was on this date. And now, on this date, for the second year in a row, Tom Brady has announced his retirement. We were all geared up to talk about the Denver Broncos. It was going to be their day. Let's ride. And then all of a sudden, I go, Fritzy, I'm sorry. Might not be spending as much time on the Broncos as you'd like there. With
Tom Brady does it again.
Yeah, you got Sean Payton. Even the Texans with D'Amico Ryans, they were going to be part of the conversation today. And they got kicked to the curb by Tom Brady. Poll question today. Todd, what are we going to go with?
We've got a few. We can start with who had the worst day today, a Paulie special. Teams that wanted to sign Tom Brady. That's not going to happen. Greg Olson, his broadcasting situation in the number 1 spot. Denver Broncos, not getting the attention and love of Sean Payton.
All right, a little snarky there. A little snarky. Broncos thought they were going to get the spotlight today. Maybe the teams that wanted to sign Brady. Poor Greg Olson. Now, Fox has the Super Bowl, but I was told Brady's not involved in the Super Bowl coverage. I don't know how you don't have Tom Brady as part of your Super Bowl coverage. Is he under contract? Like, when does that start? Because I would reach out to him and say, Tom, can you do something pregame? How about we do something where you look at both of these quarterbacks, or you look at, from your perspective, going against these two defenses, what would you do? How would you do it? How would you utilize all of this, the skill position players? Who would you be most concerned about? How do you attack them? Almost treat it like Tom is preparing for the Super Bowl. I don't know if Tom's going to be involved in this. He's certainly not going to be the color analyst because that's Greg Olson. But, man, if Tom's coming on board next year with that contract, I'd have to say to Tom, I'd have Rupert Murdoch call him and go, Tom, congratulations on retirement. Could you start your next job here, like in a week or so? How about, you've been on the beach for a couple hours. Come on, let's go. You can help us out here with our pregame show. But I would have him just tape something. If you want to do it, go to him and have him approach it that way. You're going to face the Eagles and Chiefs defenses. What would you do? Or you want to critique the quarterbacks. You could do that as well. Yeah, Paulie.
I think, checking the math, Tom Brady's going to get a pay raise going to Fox next year. He made $30 million even with the Buccaneers, and I think of a 10-year contract at $375, $37 million next year.
You start to look at the numbers, and you really can't comprehend the numbers. And we've spoken about this down through the years. I've been fortunate to have covered his entire career. And the same with LeBron James. Been there for his first NBA Finals, to be able to cover the entirety of a career, and LeBron's still going. And LeBron had another great night last night. When you forget how many times somebody has been in a championship game or a Super Bowl, that's when you know that you've accomplished a whole lot more than anybody else. I was talking to the Danettes. I go, was Brady in 15 conference title games?
And we're trying to figure it out, but the number's so big, you can't pin it down.
Like 15 conference title games. And then you go, how many Super Bowls has he won? How many has he been in? And we do this with LeBron. Wait, how many NBA Finals has he been in? Is it 9? How many did he win? 4? Yeah, Paulie.
Tom Brady missed the playoffs 3 times in his career. Missed the playoffs 3 times. He's got 35 playoff wins. He's 35-13. It's really silly, his numbers.
Yeah. And we're looking for the next, and Patrick Mahomes is back in the Super Bowl again after being in another conference championship game. But he's got 1 Super Bowl victory right now. But for Tom Brady, I said it last year, you played great last year. You led the league in passing. You could have gone out that way. I don't know if that changes his life. I don't know if it changes his marital situation. But it was a costly year when you think about it for Tom Brady. But they can't quit. That's a lot of athletes. You just can't quit because you can't fathom, what do I do? Like, what's he going to do this summer? What's he going to do in the fall? That's when it hits you. You know, I still have moments when I left ESPN and I was doing SportsCenter second shift. I was working at night, the 11 o'clock. I had moments when I wasn't at ESPN anymore, but my mind was ready to do a TV show. I would get, more energized as the evening went along. It was just muscle memory. And that's just doing a silly sports show. He is a creature of habit. And now what can you be that same creature of habit doing football games? But going to a game is the key. If he was in the studio, then I'd say I'd have my doubts about Tom doing this for a career. When you go to a game, and I've been there with Tony Dungy, who's been in a couple of Super Bowls, or Rodney Harrison, who won a couple of Super Bowls, you're with people and they change. When you've played or coached or both and you go there, you can see that energy. They know the feeling. And that's what Tom is going to try to replicate. And if he's going to be successful, it'll be because he's able to go into those games being well prepared and almost attacking as if he was playing against both of those teams. All right, so that's the poll question. Who had the worst day today? And it's only 9:12 Eastern time, and we've already said the worst day. Teams that wanted to sign Brady, Greg Olsen, Denver Broncos. And that might only be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who were going to bring Tom back. I don't know how big the market was for him. I don't know if that factored in at all. I don't know if he thought, if I could go there, I'll play one more game. Does he want to go to the West Coast? You know, being away from his kids, building a home in Miami, outside of Miami. Was Miami an option? Like, there's just a lot of things there with Tom Brady. But hopefully he found his peace of mind, and you're able to make a very difficult decision. And you could hear the words. You know, they came kind of tumbling out of his mouth. It's tough. And as he was getting more emotional, he decided to cut it off.